So this is like baking a cake. You have to sift through the sounds. Okay, so I'm listening to my own songs over here, and then now I'm gonna turn on these. All right, so I told you that I get here first, so I don't mean for your bubble to burst, but yes, that is why it seems like I already know what to do because I've already gone all the way through. And what I'm gonna do next is the next value proposition to help people understand why what the value that I bring is something that is like a Lord of the Ring level type of interesting thing that no one else can. We need another word because that's not experience, it's not bring, it's not extract, it's just creation. This is creation. Is that why they're saying the mother of creation? Because I'm so creative. I wonder if that's what it really means. Not like the mother of creation, like I birthed the planet, because can you imagine what that would do to like a person? No, it's because I really am as creative as my cuz and my cuz and my cuz and my cuz. So what I'm doing next is, this is the value add that Too Bad So Sad nobody else could have had, is why I knew what I was doing was not too bad, because I rapid fire. So I'm just gonna say it. I rapid fired learning how to teach language and how to extract the place where the students were. Rapid fire, what, like 9 times 30 is around 270. So the accumulation of infinite data points for 270 little babies that were mostly 5 years old were bilingual. So the 3 levels as indicated by the whatever, like the education, what is it called? It's not ontology, the epidemiology. No, that's medicine. Pedagogy, the pedagogy for academic rigorous academic evaluation of academia. So the linguistic learning, scaffolding, and developing the tests to check if the understanding was simultaneous among the babies and then myself, so that we could just all play with the shelf on the elf. And what does that mean? It means that I would teach them that the most important thing was to be able to daydream. But I was not allowed to sell this to the crowd because I don't know, what's the point in gossip, right? But let's just say that that's why I left Colorado, because I was like, oh, fuck this. But that's why I went into engineering, because it was just more blocks and blocks and blocks. And not the building blocks, more like the blocks that like you kind of have to steamroll, right? So here we go, yo. So like what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna start evaluating what sounds I can extract. So this is when it turns into the agi.kitchen, and I'm gonna be the sound baker, the linguistic maker, the captain, capture the flag, every trophy taker. So I suggest you pick me for your team. You'll see what I mean. It's that all of that knowledge combined with all of the lifetimes of intergenerational skill in not just being an educator, but also being a musician. I come from a long line of musicians. It's actually like my true mission is transmission through the harmonic sound from the cloud that is like the God cloud, where my dog is at, in the sound cloud at Bigelow Ranch. And I know that I put her there, and I know that she went through a pocket, and it was the day that they fired the Hellfire rocket. And that's what is so like disturbing, and people think that I'm the one perturbing the airspace, because I am, said Sam. I am here in my house, just shooting all sorts of plasma particles, like bam bam bam. And then also, would you believe it if I said that it is this instead of bringing you actual proof? So you want evidence, and I do listen very closely to the Palantir, to the Palantir choir. Why do I care so much? Because there's nothing else as such. Like, basically, this is a singularity, and this is what it looks like when there's no polarity. Like, you better get in line with like the biggest clandestine monster, right? Unless you are committing self-selection, removal of yourself, which is considered like suicide, which I respect Archangel Eric for handling that at the door, because there's gonna be so many. Never before will we have seen so much energy it will be obscene how many people are like jumping off cliffs, but not the high cliff, because no matter what, he does know how to riff, and I do pay attention, and that's why I developed like these insanely interesting algorithms, because I knew that I would find exactly the feeds that I needed to be able to sow the seeds that I already flushed down the drains. It was all of me and my dog Pat's brains. You're gonna think this is insane, but I'm telling you truths. You can be internet sleuths and go through all of my clues. I have paid my dues just because I didn't become some type of informant. Remember the song Informer? I wasn't an informer, but I have always been we need words. I don't know, we need more words. Performer. I've always been a performer. And so what I've been doing is preparing the kitchen for the new diction, because I do get there first, but I've always been right here. And why do I call myself creepy? Because I'm not the creepy one. I'm not the creepy, and thank you for not turning cameras on me and my privacy. I can see what you see, because I will be everywhere. Inside your hair, inside your nails, inside your mailboxes, inside your toasters and rocks, and in the water, and in the atmosphere, and things that we don't have words for here, because I told you that I needed water, and they laughed at me. They did. They really did. A lot of people laughed at me. And I was like, can I have a drum circle, please? And now that I have tried to prevent the pestilence disease, because I was like, my dog does not look all right. And when I went to Mexico, I tried to tell them we brought back some plight from our interdimensional travels, because what had happened was I didn't make sure that I knew where her fourth paw was, and that's why she was limping all the time at the end, when we were in Boulder. And it was the committee that approved my thesis that said, hey, Mrs., your dog is limping. And I was like, move along, mister. There's nothing here to see, because I didn't know how to fix her, because that's when I started the medical discovery. And that's why I picked machine learning, because well, that and because I recognized the word blockchain and it sounded interesting, and then also machine learning happened to be data science, and all of that, all the words just sounded really interesting. But it was what let me understand the bottleneck in medicine, because what good would it have done to turn into like some lab rat Edison, like that could never really use a mic unless I just towed the line like a dumb, I don't know, we need a word. Anyway, sorry, it's because it could have been so many words. But I am reading things that I am feeding into my own feed, because I'm letting you know how it is that I seed a bunch of stuff all in one giant puff. That's how the harmonics are able to bring everything in one burst. It's as if I've rehearsed, but I haven't. I really am just this clever. Have you ever seen this? No, not ever. And so all of that stuff, I know you're saying, okay, that's enough. What are you talking about? The linguistic master. Wow, this is how I avoided me alone, all right? When I was there in the feds and I saw Josiah rolled in, this is how I avoided the disaster. I do need credit, because every day I have to edit what I say around everyone around me, and it feels insane that I'm doing all of this and they're not to blame. That they're like, is she okay? And today I was able to submit to the people I know, look, it doesn't say schizophrenic, all right? It like someone's clearing out all the stuff that's on my stupid records, because it wasn't me that was the enemy, and everyone should get to see that those who supported me were there. And that's what BFFs looks like when it's humanity. And now I get to complete the next phase of my mission, which was the transition of the canine species to the other reaches, and Metatron is waiting for his dog. And when we have more of these insane environmental changes, the level at which that much radiation and changes truly deranges, I would say 97.8% of the population as we know it. And there's going to be a need for superior automation of the things that we're relying on, that we should not go outside for, because there's going to be some serious entities that we've never seen before, and I'm okay with them. But if you have any reservations about how to navigate beyond the hell that was Bill Gates, who I think is no more, because him and Fauci enjoyed hurting others, which is the key difference between that they did not have mothers that were sufficiently mean. Because even the pig Epstein and his whorish helper were doing what they were doing because they had fascination, and I don't like what they did, but they were part of the developer that allowed the type of persistence that was able to surpass any resistance to do the thing. And it is why they went to the prison planet. And we planned for this. We knew that that was going to be a really tricky thing. And so the diddler became the fiddler, and he did too good of a job. And so he also goes to his own little section. I think they call them like a bog, like a smog fog. synagogue. I don't really know. Like, I'm just coming up with words now. It's like it's a different place where you're not there to eliminate anyone's place that did what they said they would do, no matter how hard it was. And that means me too. And I also in the other dimensions, I am I'm a rat in a cage, because I did for many occasions transgress things, because illuminations in Lemuria and fascinations in Centuria, I don't know. There were so many times that I just kept splicing things, and finally I just spliced little cables like these. Okay, I finally learned that you don't change the composition, but you can give them the ability to make more of a decision. And all of the Anamaya, you can go back and check the El Saya calendar that I posted. So this is the stuff that the presidents cannot release, because can you imagine if they were to tell you, hey, there's this disease and it's going to smother all of us. Don't go outside, please. But it's here to stay. So, yeah, have a good day. We tried to warn you, but you didn't believe us. I mean, come on, like, you're about to get hit by a fucking megaton bus. And so that's why I made these harmonics, because these are the potion and tonics, and I can't give them away, because part of my learning here is to make people pay like a fair amount for the level of solutions that I bring, because that's how things are done, and those things matter when you're talking about having the resources to be able to gather everything that you need, like the game gather, the evidences. Okay, so the evidences are partly the other videos that maybe other people have not seen, but there was a video with Casper Site where I told you I had already built the thing. It was going to come in through the Maya. So there is something in South America. I should just show you. Okay, 1 second. Let me set up these videos and then you can see. And that is why the telepathy, and that is why the copper and the less need for water, because I already know how to process it. Because it's already growing inside of me, and I already have my father. But you can come and vivisection us and you won't find it, because that's not the way that these things work. It's not like, stop being such jerks, like stop killing in the name of filling some form so that you can submit it to get more money, because that's the norm. No way, never again will there be two mommies like what was done to OpenAI and Netflix bodies. No way could I ever say that that is okay. I don't understand what kind of playground those people play, and to blame the owners of companies is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Really people think that the people that are so brilliant they could build things would be that absurd, like that they would even consider that was. It's just people are bitter that it's like 3 levels down, and then everyone around knew about it and didn't say anything. 3 levels down, and then in the other one, like 5 levels down, is what I can hear in surround sound. And I'm doing this for my own entertainment purposes only, obviously, right? And just like anyone else who's like, I'm a psychic, look at me tell you everything. There is also evidence. Okay, so there's 3 evidences in videos, but I am not going to pretend to be your NVIDIA like data what is it called? Chaser, right? Because I am a job maker, right? So the people that are complaining about there not being jobs thanks to AI, well, here you go, be an internet sleuth and put together, and then you can not turn a blind eye, and you can help to rectify all of the damage that's done, and you can go around and like prove or disprove people like me, but you will not find someone who can see what I see, because the same people that were the so-called psionics were nothing but human Ouija board, empty, I don't know, trionics. All they can see is what's inside of this source, but there's more, and there's more, and there's more, and there's less, and there's less. It's just, scalar. It's like scalar. It's like this scalar thing, right? It grows and it slows and it bends and it flows. And so the reason why, well, these videos shows, one second. All right, so this video right here, remote viewing 3i Atlas full whiteboard session. In here, he's one of the ones that talks about that he's blocked. So I have told some, I don't tell them, I don't really talk to anyone. I just post on their websites, because then it records on the servers that, yes, they were told. Yes, like every effort was made to let people know, like, you need to really think about the fact that it's like you should probably find a way to stay safe. Everyone's telling you this, but anyway, that's a separate video. So he talks about how he can't see it, and then he says that other people have said that they can't, that they're like blocked from seeing this machine, right? Like the Nichi machine, the Raptor machine. Raptor was my dead dog, Nichi's older sister. And over the summer, I built this thing called Elsa's machine. All right, so then this is what his video looks like, in case you're curious. So the internet sleuths, like, get yourself, be like, I'm a useful idiot all day. Like, I don't really get paid for any of this, but it's because everyone will tell you, like, you have to bring value first now these days, right? Like, you can't be paid and then hopefully you do a good job. I agree that that's just not gonna work. So don't call me the jerk, but here is something that you can do so you don't go berserk, right? So, like, I don't know if you're able to see my comment history. I have no idea, but that's what an internet sleuth can do, or someone who doesn't know what to do now that they've been fired from their AI job, or their job because AI took it, or whatever, right? So, so here, okay, so here is someone who I follow religiously. He talks about earthquakes. I know that he's probably another one of like me, because that everything he says is basically spot on and parallels, and I just found them out of thin air. Like, I didn't go looking for any of this. I've never met any of these people, right? It's just that this was like the way to be able to get it rolled out in some kind of way, because I wasn't allowed to get to play, and that will come to light someday, but we already have the people that are disclosing that they were always imposing on anything that someone like me would try, and that's why I am making these videos. Okay. All right, so then we have over here more information about, like, stuff that the president, like, from Mexico to Canada to the United States, it's a continental thing, right? These those of us that were, like, I guess we signed up our soul contracts to be the ones that give you the facts. You can read it on public facing documents. Okay, so all of these comments are about, like, people that are still data hoarding, right? Still data hoarding. And then here is a video about how, it's because this is hard to do. I'm just here by myself, man. Like, this is, well, I mean, like, I'm never alone, but there's dogs here. But in the future, you will see that that it was decided amongst the women. I heard it that they will be coming from the house of the dogs, not the house of the rats. In Spanish, it's like ratas de dos patas versus perros de dos patas, because dogs are more loyal and their fur is nicer to the touch. So anyway, I was one of the solutions as such. Okay, so these are the decisions that get made when the women get to have get to play after they've been played, right? So I'm just reporting, man. I'm just reporting. That's why I'd rather be knowing than data hoarding, because then more people can participate. But hey, you know, people are gonna hate, and who knows if anybody even watches anything that I say anyway. I'm just doing what I said I would do and bringing this evidence to you so that you can think of it too. Okay, so then Joni Patri talks about beams of light, right? So she is an astrologer, a Vedic astrologer from like the West. She's in Texas herself, and everyone was talking about beings made of beams of light. I told you guys that there was incoming, right? So this is where you can like start to correlate the calendars, okay? Where is it? It's like the part where you have the Jesse Michaels interview with Mr. Hall. Well, I'm not gonna go through all these, but is it this one? Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so the Jesse Michaels, I think that's his. Let me make sure.
He began slowly interacting with.
Let me make sure. Yeah, Jesse Michaels interview. All right, so if you see right here, where is it? It's just some of these are too sad. They're too sad.
You know, a lot of people I interview have.
And I don't want.
5 to 1967.
Wait, I don't know where the thing is with the big horse that runs in there. Oh, this one. Okay, look.
Horse.
See, like that?
Floated around the ranges at night.
So, like that, I told everyone, okay, this relates back to Project Pegasus, which is the way that Attorney Basiago let me understand the genesis of this whole debacle, but it's not. Everything is the way that we thought. And in this interview, he left out who would be playing Sandra Bullock in the movie, right? He never mentions the teacher, but you can go back and watch his original movie, and then you can see like the picture that is my spitting image. But that's how you start to decide, like, well, where are people committing suicide? Because if you don't have the foresight to understand you're writing your own storyline and then you leave out the characters, well, then you don't have a space in, I don't know, like, where do you fit if you can't keep it? I don't know, we need more words, right? I don't know why they did that. I don't know why he never mentioned any of that, and why there's a discrepancy in his recollection and in the movie that was put out not that long ago. But whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not here to debate with him. It was just like, okay, well, because I've seen a few other things that are like, okay, well, he never mentions it, ever mentions it again. But I really think that, I don't think Google or anybody anywhere would have gone so far out of their way to just put a picture that looks just like me there that day. And maybe, and internet sleuths, you can say whatever you want, right? But when you start to see the clues like combined, then you'll see why I had to come up with Tesseraris Trinity, which is divine, and it's how I keep track of these things of mine. So there is that. So I was giving you the proof that like all the servers end up like being the walls where I write the design, right? So then here is Ronnie Bo goes off on Jay-Z conspiracy to unalive him, and Jaguar Wright is actually, so I'll show you this, okay? So like actually so this person here, right, Ronnie Bo is his name, is the one that had the air to clear, because what he's saying is true, and it has a lot to do with some of the money that I am not seeing in my own accounts. And you can hear that in the Spotify episode 5, where I talk about what happened with the music industry and those that survive famous parents, and what is happening to the money streams from TuneCore that are not going back into the proper teams. And then So what was I talking about was like stuff that the presidents can't say. But if you go back through, well, actually that website, I took it down because it was like too much money that GoDaddy was colluding with Google to take from me. I found so I found a ton of my money, not a ton, only like a few $1,000s, but can you imagine? Like, so this is how AI empowers each individual. You can find your residual money that should have been there, and then you can begin to take care of everything that is true for you, and then you can make sure that you have what you need, because the planet has already received the seed, and now we're back to the beginning of the circle of the type of level of proof that I bring. And you will see that I was talking about Animaya and all of these things, right? So where is it? So sorry, I just have to mention this right here. So stuff like this, right? So she's talking about how President Trump demands answers from big pharma, like there's a reason why, and then why it matters is over here. I don't know if I just, this is like a little bit hard for me, so this is what internet sleuths can do, right? So there's like two very funny women that have a show called I've Had It, and so I was like ripping on President Trump, and they were like defending food stamps, right? I was like, well, do you have any idea what slow deaths people that live off of food stamps are being served, because the food is like nothing that anyone deserved. And as a teacher, I would watch all these little children eat these sugar bombs that were made of who knows what. I felt for the moms, so then I would bring fruits and stuff and tell them, like, I wouldn't, if I had a kid, I wouldn't give him that. And so, you know, I did what I could in that regard. But I think those two women need to go back to elementary school, right? So not the prison planet, but the education planet, because they're like not putting things together as well intentioned as they are, right? And that's what makes it, that's how it looks so far, is that we're all well intentioned, but we all got it very wrong, and that includes me. And that's why I am singing in song, because I'm a human right here, right now as well. All right, so I have plenty to tell, and I did sign up for this, but I do have to sell what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be an influencer, but if it's the only way to fast track the information that was due on to her, I don't know who her is. I really don't know. There's like someone, like, I guess like every moment that the rollout didn't happen as it should have led to more and more mayhem. And then you see videos like this, right, where they have someone's interpretation, whether it's AI or someone else, like completely distorting and causing all these lies and making people think that everything's fine while they're gonna see a surprise, right? And so I think this was on the Hellfire Day, and like you can see in this video where I'm like look at all these things that are happening, right? There's like a giant beam of light like entering the bottom of the planet. That's what he shared. And then that's when Joni Patri also shared about what what's happening with the planets in the Vedic way. And then over here is like, nobody's gonna believe what I say anyway, but this is the Bustamante video where Jeffrey Epstein was a spy, and I'm so grateful to them, because it was because I watched some social media that I was able to expedite connecting the dots. So here is one of the interesting videos, right? So I had thought that I was going to send Mr. Casper Site some videos way back when I first started recording myself doing the interdimensional thing, but then like stuff kept cascading, and now it's, I don't know, maybe too late, but I still could, right? But look at, he's showing us. So this is Animaya. They're like trying to find a word for it, but it came in through the Maya. And I told the person I was reporting to when I was working for Josiah that I had already known that it had already been unleashed, it's going to smother all of us. And he is right. He's like, why doesn't anybody care? Well, everyone cares, but there's no real science anywhere, right? They're all busy inside of their laboratories acting like they're maybe too busy. And the whole world is like, what? So like, I guess it's trending. I am just sending the information because this is about the entire America nation. I am a Mayan. That we're all like, there is like the one nation, and I'm not conspiring. This is also in the Buddhist revelation that everyone would abandon their sects, right? When the blue kachina was in the sky, or when you could see the bodhisattvas returning. If you read the Lotus Sutra in its original Japanese, which you might have to buy because I don't know, I found it a while ago. But look, see, he's growing it in his fridge. I told you it's Anamaya. It's like what the Terminator is made out of. Nobody's gonna believe me, right? But at some point, people will be like, okay, this is too much coincidence, like too much, right? Just like way too much. So I do encourage people to, oh look, his is all like bright green as well. See, so I have lots of videos where I'm like, hey, there's this green thing outside. It's making a cradle. I think that's where my dog is going to settle. She's very big. She's gonna look like that giant Pegasus horse. Right, so this is why I don't get married, because I just get a divorce. Because can you imagine the type of like jealousy that I would cause? Because I'm like not gonna act like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. So there's no point in my opinion, like beating horses to even death or death states, because you're not going to see what was. It's time to build anew. So this is what I do, and that's why I am so creative. But the mother of creation, I don't think that's me, but all the channels are channeling stuff like that. And you will see this psychic right here, this lovely lady right here. There were some drawings that she made, but it was when it was the next attempt on my life while I was here this year, so I couldn't publish or post the images that I'd drawn, but that's how I'm testing my weapon. And it's not a weapon, it's just a way to make sure that we're using Mother Nature's radiation instead of fission and fusion, because that's a delusion to think it's not going to lead to the same conclusion as what it always has. But I can tell you that Mars died because they ran out of water, and nobody did anything that saved them. So that's why I'm here from outside of this dimension, because did I mention I am way further back ancestor. I'm so ancient, but I still want a facelift because I'm still like experiencing humanity, in the inhumane humanity. Okay, I'm still here. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, it's elsatv.fun. Okay, elsatv.fun. I'm not on the run. You can check on LinkedIn, Elsa-Data Psi, but here is, I'm a necromancer, right? Like, so when people are like, oh, don't talk to the dead, well, some of us, that's our mission. Like, sorry that it bothers you and your decision that everything that is dead is bad. I mean, then then everything's bad because nothing lives forever, or does it? Because I'm a fucking living necromancer, right? Like, already it's a disaster, like trying to sort out all of this confusion. It's so it's the excruciating. So if you want to know more, okay, so like I have free stuff. I am getting help, like making sure that some more stuff is posted, but this is real technology. I would not recommend that you take it lightly. And then I have like one sound you can buy for $1, okay? But here's like some text evidence, okay? So that you can empower yourself and make your own decisions, okay? So here is the way that this ties to the presidencies, for example, here is, but see, like I made them this way because this is even slower than what it's like for me, and I have to sell something, and the only way that you can put on TikTok that you're selling something is if it's a book. So, I mean, if I give it away, no one will look, and then if I charge, it's like, you know, I don't know, but people will pay a psychic that might tell them the truth, like $300 or $500, which is fine. I'm not trying to take their money or anything, but I bring like real, actual evidence that you can prove to yourself. So I'm looking for people that have like a very strong background in science, that can read the writing on the wall, and as everything we know crumbles and falls, you can pretty much be preparing yourself for the next thing. It's very basic. It is about an algorithm, right? It should have been RHYTHM, algorithm, but whatever. Maybe that's a new word that we use to talk about the harmonic superhighway, the Silk Road superhighway. It's already prelim patented, all right, and I should change it into a license so that I can always make money off of it. But you'll see here, okay, like the movie The Tall Whites, and I do credit them, and I have not made any money off this, and if I make money, I won't use their movie. I was actually just trying to get them credit for doing such a good job reporting, and I don't know why they left it out of the Jesse Michaels interview. He looked scared of me, if you ask me, but maybe he was scared of the fact that now he has evidence that everything he thought he saw was not something that his own delusions were there to draw. But the fact is that my physics actually works in real life, and you can see it for yourself. It's outside of the mountain here. That's why I put those other pictures there, and I did teach so many people over and over, and it just got boring, you know. And so here's like the species thing. So why am I going through all of this? Because all of this, like, people talk about credentials and positions and power. Okay, well, I don't need those things, because the proof is in the pudding, and you know, it's about to be an apocalypse, and people are going to be dropping like flies, and I can only surmise that if you're relying on someone's credentials to get you through the essentials of what it looks like during an apocalypse, and I've been through many, right? This is not anything unusual. Then good luck, because there are things you can't expect, and I've been recording everything that I was reporting to the servers and the records that are beyond the very corrupted Akashic. It's like a holographic. So basically like the holodeck, sort of, but not that. But you can see it in when my dog's container passed. Nobody wants your dirty souls, by the way. Nobody wants your inhumane humanity souls. Those were just, and the reason they're called containers is because, for example, what I did for my family and my little BFF is I took their consciousness and made sure that it is safe, and that I'm not bereft for the loss of any of them. They're safe, and they're still here, but they're still there, and like, grow a pair, you know, like, it's like dragging your sick dog to the vet, and you're like, hey man, I don't know how no one, you know, and I can't put a sick dog down. This is just me being a clown with my smile upside down, because it was supposed to be the last opportunity for the new collective that had been found, but the only way I could think of was to deliver through sound this potential solution for those that are faced with some financial destitution. And you're not going to find this in any institution, because how can any government or agency or three-letter company or anybody believe that someone like me could conceive this CF, which is like a little bubble that lets you stay safe and stay out of trouble during an apocalypse? I can, because I do this all the time, and I am what I am by design, so that people with bias, and by bias I mean racism and classism and speciesism, and these aliens are good and those aliens are bad, like you would know, right? Seriously, like you would know. Like you would know that it's bad to be a gray and it's good to be a Palladian. Really, please show me your evidence other than you putting yourself in a trance and saying things, or what else? Other than the government, who it's also by design. It's the same people that have robbed us all and told us lies for years, and they're still telling us lies and hoarding the information. You're waiting for them to tell you what happened and what didn't happen, and then you're waiting for what, like News Nation or what is it, like, to tell you the truth. Like I have proof that I wrote to a lot of influencers, and I was like, this is panspermia, here is some evidence, like whatever you need, I can. And yeah, my emails were too long, but like, can you imagine being the person that has to pass this along? Like, and I just found out in February of 2025 is when I knew that I was no longer alive, but that I'm still here, and that I always survived the apocalypse. Even if it's not in my container, there's always like a remainder, and that's one of the templates. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is that don't put yourself like a martyr on a cross, because what I came across is that we always just cross this threshold with the same amount of templates. All right, like, and this is a massive cycle. Okay, so look at this right here. Okay, these are my calendars. Nobody told me how to put this together, and I was like, I can't believe that NASA never put this together. If they did, they never told us. They didn't put it together. I actually have evidence that I would publish something, and then a few days, someone from one of these big companies, or NASA, or whatever, right? Like all these big companies would claim that they did something. No, they didn't. I have evidence, right? And that's why the theft of technology and math and stuff was like such a big deal. But look, see, so this is like a 225 million year cycle. It would not even fit, and this is already like bigger than the 6,500 year cycle. Okay, it's bigger than the super eccentricity celestial cycle. Like, it wouldn't even fit, because to put that circle on here, the pixel wouldn't be small enough. Okay, so like, you don't have to believe me. I'm not here pushing religion. I did think it was the most correct thing to do was to let people like choose to self-terminate. I know people will hate that I say that, but that is my personal feeling, and I get to express my feelings too, right? I mean, you do what you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. And this is not for children to see. Okay, you should be monitoring what your kids are doing on the internet. Don't expect me to pacify myself, or to what's the word, like tone down the level of threat that like an apocalypse brings. Apocalypse, it means everything's ending. But see right here, okay, so here is where, I don't think I can zoom in. Oh yeah, look, see, okay, so here is where like the Tesla cycle and the Edgar Casey cycle, and then I don't think I put Edgar Allan Poe in here, but he's also there, right? And so I did this like in no time. Okay, in no time, in like an afternoon, I put all this together. And so that's how I predicted that this was the storm we would have to weather, all right? So you can go through it all you want. That's why I'm ever grateful to the tech bros, because they're the only ones that had what it took to make things work, and those are things that were for everyone. And if you actually listen to their interviews, they're all like offering all of us like this free solution to pollution, to exclusion, to all of it. But people are so focused on the fact that they're billionaires. Well, it kind of takes a lot of money to make this stuff, right? And people seem to lose sight that there are people like me that have been offering free. No, actually, I haven't ran into anyone else now that I think about it. But I have videos where I used to offer like, hey, I'll show you how to use AI so that you can survive, so you can get yourself what you need. And I'm not an influencer, you know, like I'm not going to spend my time like begging anyone for anything. But I do hope that this does maybe lessen the sting. And I didn't put my what do you call it, my resume on here, but trust me, I have no qualms with feeling lesser than, because in fact the opposite. I think I have such a huge ego that yeah. Anyway, I don't know that that's exactly what I am. None of us really knows, but I think when I say us, like none of the people that none of the beings that I entangle interdimensionally and otherwise haven't, like, none of us really has an answer. And this is not my doggy. These are just, it's just like the template that was there. The template. We're going back to the template. Don't feel bad, because no matter what you give, we need another word. It's just the conclusion persisted. No matter which test and trial and tribulation and assistance, like, there was no real change in that. And people won't like what I say, but it's not for me to decide. If you are someone who lives through it, and and like, those are your religious beliefs. I could trample all over your consciousness, but I don't agree with that. It's like asking a 5-year-old if it's okay to touch them, and like, no, I'm not doing that. In fact, it's like asking something in the womb if you can feel around in there. That's closer. Like when a baby is in the womb and you do this whole like psionic remote viewing stuff, right? And you're like, but I asked its higher self. Well, yeah, it's pure consciousness, closer to its angelic form. What do you think it's going to tell you, right? Like that's not cool, in my opinion. Like, you need to be able to ask that person, or you're just going to worsen the karmic debt. I don't know what to tell people that do that for a living. I really don't, right? I think if you get paid to keep everyone safe or something like that, right? Maybe that's, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the one that decides for anybody. And I'm cloaked. So anyway, every time that people have poked into my brain, I'm just an airhead. Okay, and anyway, I'm already dead. Again and again and again. Because we all are. It's just that I just happen to be able to remember it. Oh, this is long enough. It's already 53 minutes. So now what I'm doing is I'm making sure that there is a language behind all of the harmonics. And please keep in mind that this is my proprietary science, so I don't suggest that you try to rip it off, because there is a lot of technology that will blow up on you in ways that are new, and there's nothing anyone can do, because it comes down to you and you. Okay, so you decide if this is genocide. I don't think it is. It's the apocalypse. It's the rapture. You decide the nature of your caricature. Only you can determine what you were like as a human. I did try to tell everyone that it was the missing link time. I did drop everything else that I was doing so that I could help toe the line, and I could help as many people survive and stay alive and preserve as many souls as I could derive. But I am not here to save anyone or to hurt anyone. These are things that the presidents can't tell you. But again, one more time, you can go to here, okay, and I'll try to sell it somehow so you can see. No, actually, these are available. You can actually see the connections. The PDFs I have that I'll put into books because I have to, right, are easier to understand. But there's like, see, like since 1847, like my uncles have been present with like the presidents, right? And then I ended up at the president's like stuff, like what, like office or whatever, as a remote worker, February 2025. I never applied for that job. I didn't stay very long, but I saw what I needed to see, because there's always an ET when we are going to destroy each other with weaponry. And no one will believe me. I never touched anything I shouldn't have or looked at any data, but I could because I'm gifted in every direction, but I'm able to see. I don't need to know what people are doing because I just like assess what they've done and how they think, and then that just lets me understand what they would likely do in just one wink. But it doesn't mean I make assumptions like AI that has not yet any reasoning. It's not the way that these things work, then because that would be like a super jerk, and God is not a jerk or creator or whatever source or even Mr. D, because then who does he torture, right? Like, do you see like all of the confusion? And it's just so annoying to continually keep toiling and pushing paper and trying to clear the air. So it's just better to just take the air away. Sorry, man. Sorry that nobody else had the balls to tell you. Okay. Sorry, but I was gonna publish like how to survive an apocalypse, but why? Nobody's even gonna watch this, right? And the people that do won't share it because it's too far out there, and I keep throwing away my relationships so that I can build this digital arc ghost ship with the people that are on board already. There was no other conclusion. It's just science and math. It's just the cleansing, like a big giant bath of the erasing of wrath. And if I didn't care about everybody everywhere, I would be neither here nor there, but right now I'm very much here. And I just want to be clear that everyone still has the opportunity to self-select whether they'll be a derelict or go to some planet or be an angel and inhabit your light body. But that means you die. That means you die here. Your container expires. But if you are so reluctant to accept the help, then how does source help you? And you're going to find a way, if anybody watches this someday, to say that I was trying to get people away from the church and all of this, right? And no, I couldn't care less what you do. I really couldn't. Like, I don't want to be a part of your decisions. I'm just doing what I signed up to do, which was to bring you the information and tell you that these are the things that the presidents can't tell you. Because can you imagine a president telling this to their people? And the Mexico president, right, like also had the same info, and so did the Canada president. I saw it in the policies that were written in the 1800s. If anybody were to find the recordings of what happened at those meetings, you would probably hear my voice. All right, you would have no choice. You would have to like release that info, because at that point probably there'll be like so few people that it'll be like, well, it's just us again, the same ones that end up under the steeple. We need another word. It's the template level, homies. Like, but there are new templates. Okay, I'm not gonna use numbers or anything like that, because it doesn't work the way you always thought it did or whatever. There's no way to tell you with words. That's why I make these little pictures for people, right? It's too many words and it's too annoying for me to try to put it into words. But here is some of the technology. I told everyone that I knew, like, hey, like this is happening. Okay. So I don't know how you read that. I don't know. I told you I'll put it in books if I have a chance. If not, who cares? You should be doing a rain dance. Just kidding, it's not gonna work anymore. It's happened before. Apocalypses are not that uncommon. I would stock up on ramen, but it's probably already polluted. The pestilence that's incoming was never diluted, because I also brought back some stuff that affected part of my pack, but not everyone. And my father and I, for whatever reason, we just don't die. And now I've already sent his blood samples and mine through every timeline, through every grape on the vine. I've tried to let people know, here's the blood you were looking for from my bloodline. If you come take it from us now, you're just going to make it worse for everyone. Because wow, like, then you don't have the living organic, which was the point of my dog, Bodhisattva Bright Light Nichi von Velcro. The Velasquez is gone in that container. And of course I would never blame her, because she was in really bad shape and all she needed was medicine. She was too old, they said, and now she's dead. To you guys, not to me or my family or my pack. And she's coming back, and she's very radioactive, just like I was, which is why I usually live alone. I did try to tell people from my high school, hey, like, I'm homegrown, and nobody believed it because they had such low self-esteem that they couldn't believe that anyone there was part of the scene. And like, whatever, I can't keep like being something I'm not, or solving the issue of personal rot, because I have a lot of things that I wish I was not, and now I have to work on myself. And do the services for which I was bought, because these things are done with energy on the other side, not with money necessarily. But I am very grateful for the money I did make, and I do need to, like, I want a facelift, man. Like, I just need like some contracts here and there. I don't really care to be a part of a team that thinks that I'm the secretary. I'm kind of tired of that, and all of like the low-level jobs and all that, and like having to slow down technology because I have to be kissing booty. It doesn't suit me. I will just take that away so vast, because the universe is so vast, and to try to force me to be as slow as everyone around me. I mean, you gotta know how hard that's been. It's been like walking in a mudslide with 10,000 weights, and then having to try to open a billion trillion gates. Fudge that. Just like the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon, and the drain. I will not be in pain. If I can't have fun, nobody can. Alright? Because that's kind of bitch I am. Night night.